Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, depending where you may be right now. I'm Vivek Kumar, Product Manager on Microsoft 365, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to this Ask the Expert session. The world has changed a lot since Ignite last year, and as an IT professional at a small and medium business, or an IT partner supporting SMBs, you've been on the front line helping businesses quickly pivot to remote and hybrid work. With me here today on video is a great panel of technical experts from our SMB engineering teams who are eager to share how Microsoft 365 can be the foundation of secure work in this new remote work world. Also with us are other technical experts who are off video but will be responding to your questions over chat in real time here, as well as passing along some of those questions to the on video experts. Before I ask the panelists to introduce themselves, let me go over some required information first. To get the most out of this session, use the moderated chat to ask questions on your mind or upvote if you see a favorite one asked by others attending today. As I said, we've got a panelist answer questions on the video as well as a set of experts answering questions over chat. Here are some other things to keep in mind today. Please know that this session is being recorded and will be available on the Ignite site publicly. Note that the chat itself will not be made available publicly, but as is the case with other public forums, I ask you not to spam or post anything inappropriate in the chat. That makes the job of the experts here easier, and we'll be able to get through all the questions and comments sooner. Plus, we ask that everyone here today adhere to our code of conduct to respect others and show and create a respectful, friendly, fun, and inclusive experience for all the participants. So we will not tolerate any disruptive or disrespectful behavior, as well as any harassment or discrimination. I also ask that you do not share any photography, video, or recording of the session. As I said, post Ignite, we'll make this recording available on demand for anyone who missed out today. All right, with all that said, I'm excited to ask our panelists to introduce themselves. Let me start with you, Nathalie. Do you want to go first?
Yes, thank you, Vivek, and good morning or good afternoon to everybody. I'm delighted to be here with you, and I really want to thank you for taking the time to chat with us today. My name is Nathalie Irvine. I'm a general manager leading an engineering team which builds security and management experiences for small and medium-sized businesses, and also tools for partners who are their trusted advisors.
Great, thank you, Nathalie. Cian, do you want to go next?
Sure, thanks, Vivek. Hi, everyone. My name is Kieran Murphy. I work as one of the engineering leads in Nathalie's org, and my team has two main areas of focus. The first being building out the Microsoft 365 Lighthouse platform for our partners, which enables multi-tenant management across Microsoft 365 services. And the second area that my team invests in are the device management and security experiences in the Microsoft Admin Console. Thank you.
Great. Fred, how about you? Do you want to introduce yourself to you?
Sure. Thank you, Vivek. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, everyone. I'm Fred Pullen, Program Manager on the Microsoft 365 Security and Compliance team. I spent about 15 years doing SMB consulting before joining Microsoft 16 years ago as a technical evangelist to the partner community. I spent most of the last year focused on SMB security, and I'm really happy to be included today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for the quick introduction, folks. I see we have a bunch of people who've joined the session today, so let's dive right in. Nathalie, let me start with a question that's been on my mind first. COVID-19 pandemic has created momentous ripples for the technology industry. What do you think are some defining implications it has had for the SMB technology landscape?
Thank you, Vivek. Great question. These are definitely challenging times for everyone, and particularly for the SMB. From my vantage points, I see three trends that are noteworthy. The first is remote work, or maybe should I say remote everything, because employees are working from home, customers are buying from home, kids are learning from home. When this first started, Everyone thought it was a matter of just a few weeks, but we know now that remote work is a way to work and here to stay. Second is focus on costs and risks. While the initial IT rush this year was to move businesses to remote work, what we're hearing now is that businesses are taking a hard look at the number of vendors they are buying from and all the service they're paying for. It's happening more in industries that have been hit hardest with COVID, but it is pervasive as budgets become tighter everywhere. At the same time, we hear that businesses are also focused on reducing risks. So while they may cut certain things, they are reluctant to cut any cybersecurity spending. I think that's smart because agencies from FBI to WHO have reported anything between 3 to 5 times increases in cyber threats attacks since the start of COVID. The third is the drive towards organization productivity. As business and people look to rebuild for the future, they are less hesitant to rip and replace what isn't working, as any productivity gain is welcome, even necessary at this time. In fact, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella commented that he's seeing 2 years of digital transformation happen in just 2 months. Small end businesses have a really hard year, but these are strong people who are innovating to keep their businesses afloat. So focusing on these trends and how technology can help them in each one of these each one of these is going to be critical in the future.
Yes, Natalie, the pandemic has definitely been tough on many folks, especially our small and medium business community. That said, I do think there is something to be said about the speed with which many businesses have pivoted to this world of remote work and focus on cybersecurity. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, definitely. It's been impressive the speed at which businesses and their IT partners have pivoted to this new normal. We've seen this with dramatic increases in usage of remote work services that were just not deployed prior to the pandemic. Microsoft Teams is a great example of this, where we've seen dramatic increase in usage in just a few months as work from home, and in fact, work from anywhere becomes pervasive. We've also seen increase in the popularity of Microsoft Business Premium. While we have a number of offerings for small and medium businesses in Microsoft, Business Premium is the one that is most suited for businesses that want both security as well as productivity and collaboration in current times. It's a single suite that integrates productivity apps from Office and collaboration tools like Microsoft Teams with advanced security and device management capabilities to keep SMBs secure. That suite now has more than 10,000 partners selling it worldwide, and we see that more businesses want it because it tightly combines productivity, collaboration, security, and device management, with no additional work needed to make things work together well. But it's not just about the technology tools. The IT admins and their CSP partners are the ones who've been hard at work as businesses needed to pivot and transform. They are the ones who worked late to make sure that employees were all set up and businesses could attend to customers the next morning. Kudos to all the admins and partners out there that have gone above and beyond to keep small and medium-sized businesses running and productive.
Thank you, Natalie, for that reminder of the good work that IT pros, whether at SMB or the technical staff at their partners, have done in the last some months to help businesses stay up and running. Many of them are unsung heroes whose work in the background has kept the economy going with the critical IT support they provide in these testing times. Fred, next I want to turn to you to dig into the area of cybersecurity, since I know that's an area of expertise for you, and I can see a few questions pop up on it from an audience today. From your vantage point, what is it that you see as top in mind for the SMBs when it comes to the cybersecurity landscape?
That's a great question. So customers and partners tell us they have 3 major areas of concern. You want to protect identities, you want to protect devices, and you want to protect workloads like email and file sharing. Phishing is obviously the most prevalent type of attack. You've probably all seen attempts to steal secrets like passwords and credit cards numbers to compromise your identity. But customers are also concerned about losing intellectual property like customer lists to attacks like ransomware. Especially when so much work is being conducted online now, protecting your business has never been more important.
Thank you for that summary. Can you talk a bit about how Microsoft 365 has a few capabilities that will help solve some of the cybersecurity challenges out there?
Of course. A good security strategy is called defense in depth. This isn't a new concept. If you've seen Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or any movies or TV shows like that, you've seen that castles have multiple layers of defense. There's generally a moat, then there's a castle wall, sometimes there's a keep inside the castle. If one layer gets breached, you have other layers to protect you. Well, the same goes for cybersecurity. There's lots of security solutions out there that focus on one thing, but Microsoft 365 takes a more holistic approach by offering solutions that work seamlessly together across all your devices. Let me give you some examples for that. So multi-factor authentication is important, but it's even better when it's combined with conditional access that can block people trying to log in from the wrong device or the wrong location. Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection helps protect against phishing attacks, but it's even better when it's combined with the Microsoft Edge browser, which offers the best protection against phishing and malware attacks, according to a recent independent study by NSS Labs. Edge has additional features like Microsoft Defender Application Guard, which is a virtualization layer built into Windows 10 that offers even more layers of protection. So Microsoft 365 is a great defense in-depth solution for customers who may not have the time or the technical proficiency to stitch together their own solutions together from various security vendors. Natalie, I know your team has done a lot of work on Microsoft 365 Business Premium. Would you care to share more about that?
Yeah, I think that along with all the security capabilities that you've just described, we've really spent a lot of time to make sure that we can simplify the onboarding experience for customers to be able to take advantage of everything in Microsoft 365 Business Premium. If you go to the Microsoft 365 admin portal, a customer administrator or an IT partner can easily set up through a guided experience or a wizard Office Advanced Threat Protection, for example, to protect against cyber threats and links and attachments. They can easily turn on data loss prevention to protect themselves against data leaks. Or they can also turn on Intune mobile app management to secure their Office apps on their mobile phones, whether iOS or Android. And all this can just happen in a few minutes, leveraging the onboarding hub in the admin center.
Great. That was a great set of back and forth between Fred and Natalie. I'm a fan of the onboarding hub in Business Premium because it is now making it so simple to deploy some really powerful security capabilities that have existed for a while. It's just easier to work with now. I can see a few questions from the audience on the importance of device management in securing the remote workplace. So let me turn to you, since I know you're an expert in that. Can you share why device management is so critical in enabling productivity and collaboration without compromising security, and how you recommend enabling that at a small or medium-sized business?
Okay, cool. Thanks, Vivek. All right, so as Natalie said earlier, our new reality is remote everything. Ensuring that employees can access their business's data, apps, and everything they need to do their job from their device of choice really has become the critical requirement to ensuring business continuity. But can't let Fred be the only one to get a pop culture reference in today. With great power comes great responsibility. Allowing remote access to your business's data and apps can also increase exposure and susceptibility of your business to potential serious security breaches. And that's where Microsoft Endpoint Manager comes into the picture. Through it, you can ensure that employees can continue to access their resources, network, apps, and data securely by enforcing security policies, configuration, and data protection measures which protect your business and your data. And just to go a little deeper on how Microsoft Endpoint Manager does that, it really offers two ways of protecting access to resources. First being device management, where the device is enrolled and you can apply device-centric policies and configurations. And the second one is application management, where you can protect the apps on a device which access those resources without managing the device itself. Again, as Nathalie referenced earlier, we've seen 2 years of digital transformation in 2 months because of this pandemic. And this really shows with how people are embracing Microsoft Endpoint Manager for secure remote work. So if it's ensuring your devices are encrypted or have pins before they access data, that your applications can't copy and paste data out of your managed application ecosystem, or that guaranteeing your employees are using best-in-class applications like Microsoft Edge, best browser for business, then Microsoft Endpoint Manager really is the part of M365 Business Premium that you need. Now, as for the best way to configure it for small to medium businesses, we talked a little bit earlier about the onboarding hub investments, and I think Nathalie can speak to a bit more on that.
Yes, thank you, Karen. First, this was super helpful to dive into Intune, which often seems a little bit complicated for our customers. So I've talked about the onboarding hub and the easy setup experiences that we're building to be able to really light up all of the functionality that we have in the suite. And the same is true also with mobile device management. Going to the onboarding hub, if you go to the Windows 10 secure your devices, you will be able to turn on Intune and a few policies that are essential to protect your assets. Things like starting Microsoft Defender on each of the endpoints to make sure that you have an antivirus in place or that BitLocker is enforced. So again, really a preoccupation of making sure that not only you have the great technologies necessary to protect your assets, but also really easy ways to turn things on.
Ooh, thanks, Nathalie. And just to add to that, another way that we're making Windows 10 devices secure was the focus of an announcement at Ignite today. We know that Microsoft Defender Antivirus already provides robust anti-malware protection for Windows 10 devices. And it works deep inside the OS to protect against threats in really an unobtrusive way. Today, we announced new management capabilities that make it easier for small and medium businesses to get that visibility into how Defender Antivirus is protecting their Windows 10 devices across their organization. Now, from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, IT admins will be able to view active threats in their environment, understand which users and devices are impacted by them, which of those were blocked or quarantined, and where a review is needed. They'll also have one place to see which devices are running Microsoft Defender, if those devices are up to date, and where action is needed, like an overdue scan. The new capabilities apply to all Windows 10 devices that are enrolled in Microsoft Endpoint Manager with a Microsoft 365 Business Premium subscription plan.
That's a great recap of all the device management and security capabilities that are available in Business Premium. I am so glad that a lot of engineering investment in your teams are going towards making the deployment of management of these capabilities easier and simpler. Whether it's deploying advanced threat protection or DLP or mobile app management or securing Windows 10 computers. So much of that is now possible to do with just a few clicks in the admin center. It is incredible to think that all of that together would have taken hundreds of settings and policies over dozens of pages to do. But now all of it can be done in just a couple of minutes. Plus, the Defender antivirus management capabilities announced today is an example of how security for small and medium businesses and their IT partners is more achievable because it's frankly easier to manage now. Talking of partners, I do see one or two questions from the audience about the Microsoft 365 Lighthouse announcement at Ignite earlier today. Sharon, do you want to talk share a little more about your vision for Lighthouse and how you're going about building it?
Sure, thanks. So the new Microsoft 365 Lighthouse platform announced today is definitely designed keeping the IT partner, especially the managed service providers, in mind. We've specifically tried to solve for the technician persona at the IT partner that supports small to medium businesses with managed service offerings. If you look at that persona today, to do a simple task like a password reset, it requires for each of their customers a login and a log out, perform the operation, rinse, wash, repeat. Lighthouse will enable multi-tenant management capabilities for the MSP by allowing partners to access and view data for different tenants they're currently managing through a single pane of glass. It enables simplified access to data with aggregating across various Microsoft 365 services. Some examples would be threat protection, user access and user risk posture, comparing policy enforcement and policy configurations across tenants, and reviewing device compliance status for devices under device management.
Yes, we're really excited about this new product, and there's definitely much more work to do to provide more and more value to partners. We're just at the beginning of this journey, but managing and helping partners managing their customers at scale is really something that we've heard loud and clear for many years now. So I'm super excited about this. I would encourage all the partners to listen to an Ignite session that is dedicated to M365 Lighthouse, where we deep dive into what we've done. We have partners talking about their experience around this. So if you want to know more, please dive into that session. In addition to this product announcement, we also announced back in July a partnership with Solarwinds. We know a lot of managed service providers use third-party tools to run their business and manage their customers. We call these tools remote monitoring and management, or RMM. For partners who have made significant investments in these tools, we want them to continue to leverage them while being able to offer their customers the value of Microsoft 365 Business Premium. So we've partnered with Solarwinds, again, one of the most popular RMMs, to integrate Microsoft 365 with their solution. The first integration that we focused on is Intune. This means that customers can benefit from all of the security and management offered by Intune and that Kieran described previously, while their partners continue to leverage the tools that they're familiar with. Another aspect that I finally want to call out is the work that we've been doing in the M365 Admin Center to also provide more multi-tenant views. These experiences are targeted at scenarios that are typical of what you will see in the Admin Center, whether it's service health or onboarding. Ultimately, what you're going to see is us making more and more investments in multi-tenant experiences across all of the different assets that we have to really help either customers that own multiple tenants or partners manage multiple customers in a more productive way.
Great. It's so nice to see that your teams are thinking holistically of all the IT pros out there, to be inclusive of those who work in IT teams as small and medium businesses, or as well as those who work at IT partners supporting SMBs. From talking with MSPs, I know that many have been asking for the multi-tenant management capability since Azure Lighthouse came out, and in fact, some even earlier than that. So I'm pretty sure that many IT partners are really excited about this. I see a question here where someone is asking whether IT departments that support multiple tenants, whether they'll be able to use Lighthouse if they are not official partners. Nathalie, what do you have to say to that? I think between what you've got in Lighthouse and some of these multi-tenant capabilities that are coming in Admin Center, there's a bunch of things out there, right?
Yeah, I think that, M365 Lighthouse is very targeted at partners, particularly managed service providers. So definitely not for customers in terms of scope, but I just described what we're also building in the M365 admin portal, which would be a better place to get multi-tenant experiences for customers per se.
Perfect. That makes sense. Another question that I see in Lighthouse is whether it will allow easy multi-tenant PowerShell use. To whoever asked that question, I think it was Robert. Robert, let us know what are the scenarios you'd love, what are that you're looking for. I'm sure the engineering teams would love to hear how you plan to use it. But Nathalie, Jen, do one of you want to share how you're thinking about it?
So I can jump in on that one. This is actually one of the areas that my team focuses on, so I'm well equipped to answer it. The short answer is yes. The type of APIs that we're exposing for the Lighthouse platform are going to be on Microsoft's Graph. It's our connected edge or intelligent edge, and that does have strong PowerShell support. So everything that we're exposing through our UX can also be accessed programmatically.
Perfect, makes sense. Let me look through if there's any other question that seems to be popping up. While I do that, Fred, I have something for you. I know this work that your team is doing on Defender endpoint protection. Do you want to share a little more about that while I look through any more unanswered questions here?
Sure, I'm happy to. Thank you, Vivek. So I just wanted to share, for those of us who have been in the Microsoft ecosystem for some time, you know that Microsoft Defender earlier was Windows Defender, and came from such humble beginnings as Security Essentials on Windows 7. The great news is this has evolved over time to become really world-class in how we protect Windows devices. So if you do a search, for example, Gartner has published an endpoint protection Magic Quadrant, and Microsoft is a leader again in endpoint protection. I mention that because a lot of SMBs don't subscribe to Gartner or Forrester or IDC or other analyst publications. But if you do some searches and look for Gartner endpoint protection, you'll see that Microsoft is providing endpoint protection for some of the world's largest companies out there, lots of governments, and lots of small businesses. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to give endpoint protection a try, and especially with the announcements we just made about better management and how SMB customers and partners can manage endpoint protection a little bit easier. Really, it takes away some of the last objections that customers and partners had to using Defender, because we've made it easier now for you to manage it and easier for you to hear about how it's working in your environments that you're managing. So please give it a try. Let us know what you think, and I think you'll be really pleased about how it's evolved over time. Yeah, I'm seeing a question about is Defender competitive with other solutions? Absolutely. The answer is absolutely. We're competitive with the best solutions out there, no matter what what the names are. We have a really good solution. And of course, if Microsoft Defender endpoint protection isn't enough, we do have at a higher level Microsoft Defender Advanced Threat Protection, which may be worth looking into for some environments. I do occasionally talk to smaller customers who are still more technically sophisticated and maybe in financial services or other areas, and really need to protect their environment. So it may be worth looking into the additional levels of protection that we have. And Vivek, I see we're almost out of time. If you want to cover some more resources.
Yeah, I'm sharing a list of resources that we've got. Last of that URL points to our tech community. If you've got more questions, ask us there. We'll make sure to watch for any other follow-ups that you've got. Other than that, thank you for attending. It was great to be able to talk to you here today, and thanks for some of the questions that came through. They were nice, really made us think. Appreciate it. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.